amigos? Here we are in the Speedy Suarez podcast.
Oh yeah.
With my amigo over there and roommate Enrique Vaca,
Hola.
well known as Akikis, and my well friend here, Boris. His name is Brian, but actually I just find out like a few months ago that his name was Brian after 3 years, but
That's
everyone
okay.
calls him Boris.
They both start with B's.
Yeah,
so we're
that's
good.
a good thing.
Boris sounds better.
And this is going to be fun.
Looking forward.
I'm excited.
To it.
The Speedy Suarez show.
Speedy Suarez
That's a good
show.
name.
Our first time here,
Yeah.
learning about everything, but it's going to be fun.
Now we're here in a special studio at Joe Gibbs Racing, just so people know.
Yeah.
So tell them what we're going to do. I mean, this is about Daniel. So there might be people out there who don't know Daniel. So tell them where you're from. What do you do for a living?
Yeah, I'm from Monterrey, Mexico, and I got to drive race cars for a living. So obviously it's a lot of fun. When I was a little kid, obviously, I guess every kid out there love cars in general. You know, every kid out there loves cars and like to play with cars. And when you are 13, 14 years old, your dream is to have a car and to be able to drive. So I was fortunate enough that my dad was just as crazy as I am. He gave me a car when I was very little, and then I started racing go-karts with Enrique. He's the one that introduced me to racing.
Wait, what? Because this is the first time I've met Enrique. I've seen him
Yes.
around. So you're a driver too?
Yes, I like Daniel said, we start racing pretty much at the same time. We start with this crazy journey at the same time. My dad met his dad before that I met Daniel. But once that we met Daniel at his dad's shop, he was jumping around all over the place. He was just crazy since the beginning.
So you both lived in Monterey?
Exactly.
Okay,
We
so
are from the same
What's
place.
it like there? What's it like to grow up in Monterey?
It's fun. It's just it's the third largest city from Mexico, and I really like it a lot because it's very close to the border. So I remember I used to go shopping all the time to Texas with my grandmother and my grandfather. So it's a lot of fun. I really like that city a lot. Obviously, my father and my mother and pretty much my whole family is from there, and they've been living there for a long time. Actually, I'm the first in the generation of my mom and dad that I moved out of the country. So in the beginning was something different, but right now obviously I'm very, very happy I did it.
Okay. So what was it like in school? Like what kind of kid? Did you go to school together?
No, we didn't went to school together, but we grew up
Okay.
together pretty much. So I know him since we are 11.
Yeah, 11. I think a little bit before that, because
Yeah, you're right.
I can remember that I was 11 when I started racing. So I guess we met maybe a year before that.
9, 10.
Yeah, maybe around 9, 10, and I remember my dad had a shop where he used to fix old cars, and he used to sell
Fire suits and all that kind of stuff.
all the year to race, fire suit, gloves, shoes, and everything. And his dad, bro Enrique, and Enrique's mom, and Enrique's brother, because he has a brother as well. His name is Pepe. They brought him to a shop to try suits and everything. And my dad, at the time, he was selling those mini sport bikes, the mini motorcycles, just for fun. And he was selling those. So every time that I was at the shop, I was trying to fire one of those things up to ride that thing around. And I remember that day, Enrique came to the shop with his dad buying some stuff. And I remember he had a car where he was pulling a big trailer. And he had pictures of him in the side of the trailer and stuff. And I said, man, that's very cool. Are you a driver? And I said, yeah, I'm a driver and stuff. And then I started talking to his dad, and my dad was there. And obviously Enrique is a super nice guy. His dad is just as nice. And that day I met them.
Okay.
They invited me to go to a racetrack. And I don't think I went that day, right?
Everything happened in one day. You went with us that day.
That day?
Yeah.
The day that we met?
Everything happened in that day.
So you know how much my dad loved me. He just sent me with the strange
Yeah.
people right there, out there.
Okay, you want to go? Yeah.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead. We just met. That's fine. Just
Yeah.
take it. So yeah, we ended up going to the racetrack. Enrique and his dad, they had just one cart, and obviously, it was one car for Enrique that he was kind of like the main guy, his brother, and myself. I was just, looking around and learning about everything. Enrique was very good. He was very, very big into it. I remember that Enrique was already racing for 6 months or a year. He was starting. And his dad, he really didn't care. I remember he was playing with some other stuff and with some other toys when he was supposed to be paying attention to practice. And I was very focused to try to learn something. And that's pretty much how we start. We start doing some testing one Saturday, and then one Saturday every 2 weeks, and then finally Enrique's dad talked to my dad to try to get into the racing for real, not just testing. And we ended up buying one go-kart. Actually, that's a funny story.
That was an adventure.
Tell all friends here about that story.
Like Daniel
it was
say,
Pachuca, right?
No, it was first South Mexico, Pachuca.
Okay.
And then we went to Guadalajara. Well, it was in a super small pickup truck with a couple guys in the back, me in the front with my mom.
When we're talking about the back, we're talking about the bed truck. I mean, it was a pickup truck for 2 people. And I remember it was 2 people there driving, Enrique, myself, and someone else. I think it was Yurenko, right?
Yeah, I think
we
so.
were in the back of the truck, in the bed of the truck, laying down with some blankets because it was very cold.
It was very cold, yeah.
And we were like that for hours.
Actually, we have some pictures of that.
Yeah, but we were excited because we were going to pick up our go-karts, brand new go-karts.
Yeah.
So there we go, like that. That was funny.
So was that the first time you two raced each other?
That was the first time that we went to pick up some professional go-karts.
Okay.
Because after that, we started racing together like for a couple years. And then I moved to a different division.
Okay.
Because I'm a little bit older than Daniel. So he stays in the like junior division, so I move up to the senior class.
Okay.
But beside that, I mean, we are been testing, racing, everything about cars.
So this guy is responsible for getting you here.
Yeah.
I mean, for starting it at least.
Yeah, between him and his dad.
Yeah.
And,
Pretty much.
That's pretty much how everything started, and then we went back to Mexico, to Monterrey, where we are from, with the new go-kart, and it was a big deal because it was brand new.
Yeah. So do you still race?
Yeah, I'm still racing.
Okay.
I'm still racing too.
And it was I remember that, man. It was a big deal. I can remember everything: the brand of the go-kart, the size, everything, the engine, everything. The engine was a Franklin, Sportman.
I just remember that we spent pretty much the whole budget in the go-kart, because after that Daniel was racing with an open face helmet with goggles.
Yeah, my dad he put everything he had in the go-kart. Brand new chassis. It was a CRG, very, very nice. I remember the car. My dad had a restoration shop, so the car was at the shop all the time. So every time after school, I was going to a shop. I used to polish the head of the engine. The whole chassis is black. That car was black. I guess maybe 10% of the drivers, they clean it. Well, I don't just clean the go-kart. I used to polish the paint. I mean, I was just crazy about that thing. And, my dad being having a restoration shop, so everything was nice and clean and perfection. So my go-kart was clean. Maybe I wasn't as fast, but it was very, very clean. And it was a lot of fun. I remember those days starting with my dad, and in that time, Enrique was racing, like he said, in another higher division, and I was in the lower division, and I didn't have a mechanic. Actually, Enrique was the same way. Yeah. Enrique's mechanic was his dad, and my mechanic was my dad, and we were going in a pickup truck. We were putting a go-kart there, a toolbox, and we were going to a racetrack to have some fun.
Okay, so tell me about the first time that you raced each other, because I hear there's a story there. The first time you're on the go-kart track together, was there a little run-in, or when did you know that he was going to be good?
I remember, like Daniel says, we took him to the track, and we just had one go-kart in the beginning. Huh. So I think the first time you didn't drive. It wasn't until the second or the third time. So I was right there feeling the man with my new fire suit and everything.
Brand new
fire
suit.
White
yeah. with blue here.
Yeah, I remember that. And then I remember, like, do you see, Daniel? This is how you have to do it, or something like that. And then the second time that we went to a track, my dad was like, okay, you're going to drive this time. But Daniel was really, really short. Okay. I mean, right now he's at the same height as me, but in that moment, I was taller than you, way taller than you.
Yeah, I remember that. I was more like your brother.
Exactly.
Actually,
I don't know
but
why
skinny.
he was really short and super skinny. So we took him to the track the second time, and my dad was like, "Okay, it's your turn." So he starts driving, and I remember that every single lap he was getting better. He was getting better. He was getting better. And I don't know, for 5 or 6 times after that, I remember that we used to go to the track and we used to try to beat our time. So at that moment, I was like, hey, I think we're going to be doing some good stuff right here.
Yeah, I remember his dad. His dad never drove before. He wasn't a race car driver, but he was a very good.
He was a big fan of racing.
A big fan of racing and very good teacher. I remember for a kid. I remember that when I was doing laps, he was telling me, Daniel, remember that corner, remember this, remember that, and
He used to put cones in the track.
Yeah, he used to put cones in the racetrack and stuff. And then, pretty much after the second or third time that I was testing, we were battling all the time about times. Rick and I all the time.
Because we only had one go-kart, so it was...
Yeah, and we started forgetting about his brother.
Actually, my brother had everything, fire suit, the picture in the trailer, everything, but he used tests for a couple times, and he was like, nah,
I remember that
this is not for me.
He was a huge fan of Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
He used to test with his shoes of a Spider-Man and everything. I was like, what is that, man? What is that, Pepe? Spider-Man.
That would be a cool fire suit. Spider-Man looking driving fire
yeah.
suit.
Yeah, he got everything. Spider-Man. It was the big thing. Well, he's younger than me, right?
Yeah,
he was 9 years old at the time.
No, he was like 7.
7, 8.
And now he's married with a kid. So.
Okay, so how were you when you were young? I mean, in school, I don't imagine you were shy and kind of sitting in the corner. This guy? No.
Not this guy. No, not this guy. I have a lot of histories that I can say in here, but not this guy.
There's got to be one.
Maybe one at a time, but I was very just one of those kids that I can sit down and relax. I was very, how do you say that? Hyperactive is something.
Hyperactive?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hyperactive, yeah. I used to play all the time in the classroom when the teacher wasn't there, and I had my group of friends that we used to hang out a lot and play around, and we used to get in trouble a lot, and my mom, I got very lucky with the parents I had, because, and Enrique knows that, because my dad, he's like me. He's a guy that he's going all the time. He can't stop, and he loves cars. He loves racing. But my mom is in the other side. It's totally opposite. My mom is very relaxed, slow down. She's not in a rush, and she's super nice with me. So every time that I was getting in trouble, she was okay. I mean, she was okay. Then don't do that again. But if I was doing it again, she was fine. I mean, she was never very, very tough with me. And finally, when my dad got into the picture, because my mom couldn't handle that situation sometimes in school, my dad said, "Hey, don't do that again." But I remember doing that when I was your age.
So you've been Speedy Suarez since the beginning.
Yeah, kind of deal.
Pretty much.
I had I was a kid that was playing around a lot. I was playing around a lot, and I just, I really enjoyed my time from, I don't know, maybe 13, 14 years old all the way to 18 years old. Man, I enjoyed that time of my life a lot in high school and playing around, and I wasn't a kid that I was spending a lot of time studying. I was just having a lot of fun, and somehow I had decent notes, decent grades is how you call it, right?
Yep.
Grades.
Right.
And yeah, he ended up working out well, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say so. So this is you're wrapping up the regular season of your rookie year. Now you didn't know English when you first came to the States, right?
Yeah, that was a big challenge. Maybe one of the biggest challenges of my life, because obviously at the time I knew what I wanted. I knew that I really wanted to drive race cars for a living. Even when my family doesn't really come from racing, I didn't know exactly how to do things. Enrique was in the same way. His family doesn't come from racing. They're big fans, and they love racing, but they don't know which one is the next step. You know,
Exactly.
which one is the line to follow,
Yeah.
the path, and you know, luckily I become part of. Well, luckily I have a great dad that is one of those dads that if he has $1 and his commitment to you, he's going to spend the whole dollar to you, and he's going to be with you all the time, 100% until the line, until okay, this is. I mean, we can't
That's
go
it.
anymore.
Yeah.
And he did it with me, and it worked out well. And that gave me the opportunity to become part of a very big team in Mexico called Escudería Telmex when I was maybe 17 years old. And obviously they helped me to continue my career here in the U.S. I was already here in the U.S. I was moving here in the U.S. already because my dad. But obviously they helped me to continue my career to the next level.
Okay, that's what I like about your story is that it's just like people that grow up in the States that start racing, and yours too. It's the same way. It wasn't handed to you. I mean, you started out in go-karts,
Exactly.
friendships and family. It's just like Denny and Kyle and Matt. They all did the same thing. I think a lot of people assume that it went a different way for you, but it was a normal life, a normal upbringing for you, and that's a cool story.
Yeah. A lot of people sometimes think that you need to have a rich family or a family very, very well know of connections or sponsors, and sometimes hard work pay back. So I feel like my career has been like that. Obviously, I've been very lucky to have great sponsors in my career in the last 5 years. But before that, it was everything about hard work and trying to find opportunities. My family obviously doesn't come from money, very, very regular family. And that's why I didn't speak English when I moved here. The school I was going, it was a, how you call that, like a government school?
Public school.
Public.
Public school. It was it was very regular, and Enrique was the same way.
Yeah.
So, you know, nothing from another world, just trying to have fun and to follow the dream.
And I know it was a big transition probably for both of you to come here, and you were telling me about a story about when you had to get your driver's license the first time here in the States.
Yeah.
Something with parking.
Yeah, that was very funny.
I was with you that day.
You were with
I
me?
was with you that day. We used to live in Moreville.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, that was I mean,
That
4
was
years ago.
4 years ago.
Okay, I know every
Yeah.
parking instructor I've been around is very, very tough, very strict. Like
Yeah.
I guess for a good reason, because you don't know how this kid's gonna drive. So how was it for you?
It was a lady.
Okay.
So obviously she didn't know. At the time I was racing in the K&N series. So, you know, I was racing professional, but no in the national series.
Did you tell her that? Did you say?
No,
hey,
no,
listen?
nobody knew.
Yeah.
You know, for whatever reason, I'm very private when it comes to that. Gustavo, you know, Gustavo Arenas, he's my grandfather. He makes fun of me all the time because every time that we go to have lunch somewhere or something, and he gets to see a race fan. He said, "Hey, look at that!" And then they for whatever reason they recognize me. They come to say hi and stuff, and you know, most of the time I'm trying to be like, you know, that's normal, you know,
Yeah.
something humble, you know.
Yeah.
I don't like to say, hey, I'm a race car driver, this and that.
So
and
this lady had no idea though.
Yeah, this lady had no idea. And we just got there, and then, well, first of all, after waiting 2 hours because the line was huge.
Yeah, I remember
Pretty
that part.
Yeah,
I remember
it was
that part.
huge. And then finally, you know, I don't remember that you were with me.
I was with you.
You went with me to the test drive as well? No,
I
you
went-
stayed there, right?
I stayed there, but it was like a 4-hour waiting.
Yeah, it was
for you.
That's a
It
true
was a-
friend.
Yeah.
A true amigo.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
true amigo.
Yeah.
So yeah, finally we ended up going over there. At the time, I had a very rare car. It's a brand from Spain.
Okay.
Actually, that car.
They used to sell it in Mexico.
They don't sell it here in the U.S. But anyway, I had that car. I brought that thing from Mexico because that's the only car I had at the time, and it was a stick, and it was very small, and then. So the lady came to the car and she said, "Okay, the lights, you know, turn signals and stuff, everything works. What kind of car is this?" I said, "Don't worry about it."
It works.
And then we we just start going, and then she said, okay, stop here, turn to the right here. You know, I was slow, obviously. I didn't want to get in trouble. And then we were kind of like in the last part, we're coming back already. And I was going forward, and then there was a spot. You know, there were cars parking like going forward, and then there was a spot in there, and she goes, hey, stop. Okay, parking there.
Parallel park. That's what we call it here. Okay.
Parallel parking. Parking there in reverse. I said, okay. So I just move a little bit more forward. I got close to the car on my right, and I just put reverse, and then I checked my mirrors. Everything was good. I parked there in 3 seconds. She said, no. When I was almost all in. No. So, wait, what's wrong? I'm not hitting anything. I'm good. No. You have to turn around your head. I said, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to turn around to make sure that you won't hit anything. I said, well, I have a mirror here, I have a mirror there, and I have another one here.
What's the problem?
I mean, these guys are made to avoid that. Why you have to turn around? No, you can trust your mirror. I say, man, that's...
They're lying.
Yeah, they're lying,
The
eh?
mirrors are lying.
Yeah.
So did she fail you or what?
No, she put me a minus 1 point. She did. No, that's wrong. I said, man, I can't believe
Minus
that.
one.
Minus one. I mean, fortunately, I made it, and they gave me my license. But I was going to feel very bad if because of that, I was failing and then waiting another 3 or 4 hours with Enrique.
Okay, give a little pause there. So let's call our first guest on, because you just finished up, you're in your rookie season in the Cup Series in NASCAR, and you just finished up the regular season. The playoffs are going on now. And our first guest today, why don't you introduce him, and we'll bring him on.
Well, we know him as a Pato. Yeah,
Screaming.
yeah, we know him as a Pato, but his real name is Donald. He's a guy that tries to take care of me in the weekends.
Tries.
Sometimes he takes too many vacations. But yeah, he's a good guy. We have had. Actually, I was talking the other day with Sylvia, with my girlfriend, and we were talking about, you know, how much time I spend obviously with Pato in comparison to Sylvia. I've been dating her for a few years now, and I think I have spent more time with Pato in a year and a half than with her in 3 years.
You should come to the house to live with us too.
So I've been working on my radio voice. So, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Donald Pato.
Pato.
Here he is. So this guy's with you pretty much at the track 24/7. I mean, you know, thankfully you get a separate room at the hotel. I mean, you know, it's easy in that way. But he's there. He's keeping your schedule. He's making sure you're on point, right?
Yeah.
And you guys have been together since the Xfinity Series, since the rookie year of since your
No,
second
rookie,
year.
the second year, the year actually we won the championship in 2016. And,
good luck charm.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, we have
good
had
year.
some good stories there. Pato, as you guys know, I love sushi.
Yes.
That's a big thing for me. I was maybe 8 years old, and my dad was taking me to a sushi place, so I guess that's why I love it. But Pato didn't like sushi in the beginning of 16. I remember that. And at the time, we used to eat lunch and dinner a lot. And I remember that we started going to sushi places, and he was at the beginning he was ordering just teppanyaki. How you call that?
Well, I would order hibachi.
Hibachi, yeah. Just
Yeah.
something else, not sushi. And eventually he started with a California roll, and then a little bit more, and a little bit more, and
Now
then
he's a big sushi
right now he's halfway.
I don't know
into
about
that.
big. but-
Well,
He's halfway. Give me
better
one more
than
year.
he was.
Yeah. Now he can eat.
His rookie season is over in sushi, so he's.
That's right. Yeah, so we would. Hey, Danny, where do you want to go to dinner? Sushi. Okay. All right. So
That's not a question
Yeah.
anymore.
So I figured I gotta start liking it or eating it.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, well, you know what was the tough part is that every time that he was asking me, hey, where do you want to go to dinner? He knew the answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but he was hoping a different one.
I thought
But
maybe
he knew-
I thought
he
maybe
knew
you'd
the
say
answer.
something different there.
Yeah, I
but-
said, let's check the sushi place.
Man, there's two sushi stories that stand out, but one just happened a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
We were coming from an appearance in Richmond.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I think we have to go to the first one first.
Oh, you want to do the first one?
No, to the first story.
Oh,
the
in
California.
California.
One.
So-
Actually, our
yeah.
friend Boris was
Boris
in that
was
one.
with us, yeah.
Was there?
Yeah.
So this was back.
Enrique,
in-
you've been to a sushi restaurant with him,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
I mean,
but-
he likes a certain way. He knows what he wants.
Exactly. Yeah, he
It-
knows
very picky.
exactly what he wants, how he like it. I mean, he
Yeah. No,
he
do
knows
you eat
about
sushi?
that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just checking.
Yeah. He's good.
So we were in L.A., right? We landed in L.A.
Yeah, we were in LA. We had a
We're going to Toyota Day.
Toyota Day.
Yeah.
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 That was last year.
No, this was in March.
This year.
Yeah, this year.
Oh, you see, I don't
Yeah.
even know where we at. 2017, 18.
And so Donald here, Donald Duck Pato, he was in charge of the Google Maps, finding a place,
Yeah.
and we thought he had something really good.
And it
I mean,
was-
then we pulled up to it.
I was pretty proud of myself,
I mean,
actually.
we had the reviews. They were pretty good.
Yeah, there was 5 stars on.
And actually, I had a very good fish. Let me tell you. Maybe the experience was different, but I had a very good fish. It's a very, very good fish. So here we go. We go to this tiny place. How many
Like a
tables?
strip mall. There's it looks like The Walking Dead in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Like there's
Really?
Oh, yeah, it was-
the pavement is torn up. There's cars upside down. No,
It
not-
was, it was glasses,
Yes.
remember?
Yeah.
Glasses from,
so we're
from
like,
bottles.
I don't know about this, and but we went in. We were brave.
We're hungry.
Yeah.
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 We had to eat.
Like 2 tables. The place might have been 12 feet deep, maybe.
I mean, it was very, very, very tiny place. And
Husband and wife.
husband and wife.
It was very authentic.
Very. I mean,
Yes.
actually, we saw a lot of paints and signs of in Japanese and.
Remember, the menu was in Japanese.
The menu was in Japanese,
Yeah.
and the guy had a lot of magazines. Remember the magazines
Yeah.
that we were
Mhm.
watching?
So it was a really
A lot of magazines from Japan and cartoons in magazines. Very, very. I mean, they look funny. I didn't know what they were saying.
We quickly figured out that there was no hibachi option for Donald here.
No,
There was
no.
only sushi, pure sushi, some rolls, and I think you were going to go with the soup. But then what happened? We wanted to get a roll.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
And I asked a question, remember?
Yeah, yes, a
Oh.
question. So,
To
so
the guy?
here,
To the guy?
No
so
questions
the,
allowed.
the husband was the guy
No
making the
questions
sushi,
allowed.
right? And the wife was the person that was asking us what do
only
we
2
want.
people working
Only 2
there,
people.
right?
I mean, it was a 2-table
Place.
restaurant.
It was a family
They barely
deal.
spoke
It was a
English.
family
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
They barely speak English. Can you imagine that with
Yeah.
me?
yeah.
So there we go, and then I knew I was going to be fine. I mean, salmon and stuff is the same, right?
But he wanted to customize his roll, right? He wanted to
Oh,
take
yeah.
the eggs off.
Bad idea.
No,
Bad
yeah.
idea.
He wanted something different. No, I think he was asking about the.
No, I just wanted salmon, cream cheese, in a roll.
I think no.
Right?
This is what happened. I remember now. So what happened is that
When he said
you
that-
asked. Hey, so this is what happened. I ordered. Hey, come this salmon, tuna, and then I ordered a soup, and then you order. No, and then Donald went, and he goes, hey. What do you have? What the California roll? What do you have in that roll inside, or something like that,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
what-
The most standard roll, and you asked what was in it. And I think
Yeah.
you asked if you could change a fish.
Yeah.
And the wife was taking our order, and all she says is, "Oh."
Yeah.
And she puts her head back, and she walks off, and she never comes back to serve us again. And so
Yeah,
she
she
goes
got
and talks
mad.
to the husband. Yeah.
She got mad. She got disappointed because he didn't know
Oh,
what
Amigo.
I didn't know.
what was in the California roll, and he wanted to add some stuff, and she got mad, and then I asked, and then after that,
The husband comes back.
The husband came, and then Boris said, okay, give me this,
Mm-hmm.
and that, and actually Boris started ordering for 2 people because he was in trouble. Nobody was paying attention to
Donald
Donald.
was in the
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah,
They
Donald was in
wouldn't
the
even talk
corner,
to him.
and then the guy,
They disrespect the place.
yeah, the guy wasn't in a good mood already because he was already mad because we made mad to his
His
wife.
wife.
His wife.
And that's trouble all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the guy came and I say, hey, can I have a roll with sushi and tuna and stuff? Just make something. He say, hey, this is real sushi right here. Do you want that American sushi, go across the street.
Really? You say that? Really?
Yeah, I said, okay, that's fine. Just give
I'm
me whatever
sorry.
you want.
Something good.
Give me whatever you want. And Donald ended up having just a miso soup.
Very filling.
And so remember we asked for the check, and the lady, she wouldn't even acknowledge us.
No.
So the husband had to bring us the check, and
Really?
We finished our Sprite. We couldn't get more Sprite. They
Oh,
were
yeah,
done
Yeah,
with
it
it.
no
was, it was
refills on
bad. And
Coke or
then
Sprite.
Donald, I remember Donald, he ended up making an order of something else. I can't remember what it was. But you didn't like it, remember?
Yeah,
I can't remember what it was, but you didn't like it. So you left half of it. Whatever it was, you left half of it. And I wanted to say to the girl, hey, he's saying that it was bad. Well, I didn't because I knew that there were going to be a fight there.
Something.
It's gonna be trouble.
oh man, that was bad deal that day.
So
Bad deal.
Let me tell you, I really like the fish. The fish was good. I had a good dinner.
was good.
I
It
had
was
a
good.
good lunch.
It
I
was
don't
good
know
for
about
you.
you guys, but
Good for
I
you.
had a good one.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to save the next story for the next episode,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I mean, maybe we'll make a sushi. What do you call it? Segment, sushi
Yeah.
segment, the sushi segment.
Sushi segment.
Today on the sushi segment on Speedy Suarez. Say that
Exactly.
fast.
That's
I like that. I like that.
All right, so let's well, we're gonna wrap it up. You know, you just finished your first regular season of your rookie career in the Cup Series in NASCAR. This guy was with you, Enrique, kind of your mentor, your best friend here, has followed you all the way through. Just briefly, kind of recap what that's been like for you. What have you learned? What's been something surprising, and are you happy with your season so far?
Well, it's been very good. I think my entire career has been a lot of fun with a lot of ups and downs. You know, like I said, I've been one of those drivers that I have had to work very hard to get opportunities pretty much my entire career. A lot of people was talking me about pressure last year when I was battling for the championship, and I told them that wasn't something new for me. I mean, I have had pressure pretty much my entire career. Back in those days, I had pressure to win races because if I wasn't being successful, I wasn't racing anymore because I had sponsors and stuff since I was very little. So for me, that was something normal. That wasn't something new. And for me to be now, obviously, with a team like Jockey Racing for 3 years and racing in the cup level with the top level drivers, it's just a lot of fun. I remember when I came here the very first time, I came here to a shop as a fan, and I wish I remember thinking, man, I wish one of these days I can be in a team like this, and some years later here we are. So
Hey, what do you call it? How do you say in Spanish when you get the goosebumps? You get the chills, like it's uninspiring.
Piel de gallina?
he said a good one, but I call it piel chinita.
Piel chinita.
Piel
You're
Piel
right,
chinita.
yeah.
Piel de
You
gallina.
got the
That's
piel chinita. Listening to that,
Yeah.
that's exciting. How does it feel as his friend and mentor, and to see him come up through the ranks like that, Enrique?
Actually, now that he say the whole history and he say how he feels and all the stuff, and you say goosebumps,
Yeah.
piel chinita,
Yeah.
I feel it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
That's
really feel. Actually, I told you this when he made his Xfinity Series debut with Joggis Racing. We used to live in Mooresville, remember, in
Yeah.
a really small apartment, and when I saw the picture on Facebook, like Suarez with the hood and the sponsors and everything, I think that was a pretty cool moment.
Man, at the time, I remember when we used to live there, one of the most funny stories over there in Mooresville, we didn't have a washer and dryer in our apartment. We lived there for 3 years.
3 years.
And all 3 years, we didn't have a washer and dryer. I remember we had to get coins in the
We used to
car
go-
wash.
car
in the
wash,
car wash,
like
remember?
5 minutes
we
away
used to
from
go.
there.
We used to go with a $20 bill.
Bill.
We used to change that for coins, and we used to go to the washer and dryer machine in the
The
apartment complex. That was for 3 years.
Wow.
You
I
used to
remember
walk-
Enrique.
you used to walk a
walking
lot.
with a little bag. There we go, and then we go back to
Every
drive.
single time that
Yeah.
we do that, I was telling him, I want to finish with this someday. That was tough.
And then we finally moved to Huntersville, and it was a big deal because we had a washer and dryer.
Yeah.
It was a big deal.
Use it, but it
Yeah.
really works.
That's it.
All right. Well, this has been fun. I
That's
think.
great.
Hey, Enrique, tell them where they can follow you on Twitter or wherever.
You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as ebaca11.
Okay.
EBACA 11.
All right, we'll put that up on the screen. And Daniel, what do you think about the hashtag Speedy Suarez? So if people want to send us questions next week, we'll
Yeah.
start answering some questions.
Yeah, let's go to hashtag SpeedySuarez.
Yeah.
All this thing about the Speedy Suarez, everything
Yeah.
came on December of 2015. I was racing in Brazil, a 12-hour race. And in Brazil they speak Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
So Portuguese and Spanish is similar, but it's not the same. So we're trying to communicate. And we were here in the race, and I was very fast in go-karts. I love racing go-karts. And they start calling me Speedy Suarez, Speedy Suarez. And then on next year, we become very good friends. And then they told me, man, Speedy Suarez, that was my nickname. And then because of that, I decided to make my sign, my pit stop sign, as Speedy Gonzalez, customized. Actually, you made the drawing.
Yeah, the drawing.
The drawing. And with the 19 and everything, and they were crazy excited. So since then, they call me Speedy Suarez a couple of times, and here and there, and now the show is called Speedy Suarez.
That's perfect.
That's awesome.
Have you seen the movie Baby Driver yet?
Baby Driver.
Baby Driver. It's a new one.
No.
They call he's a good driver, and he does bank robberies. He's the getaway driver, but they call him Mozart in a go-kart. I like that. Like
Oh,
the
really?
Mozart.
Yeah.
So that was
That's good.
plan B, but I like Speedy Suarez better.
Speedy Suarez.
All right, folks. Well, this has been awesome. Well, let's
you.
close it out, Daniel. Let's say it's been fun.
Yeah,
It's been fun. By the way, we have an adventure coming. My friend here and
today.
I later today and tomorrow. It's going to be a surprise, so stay tuned
Okay.
in social media. It's going to be fun. We have a road trip coming. We're going to pick up a surprise.
A surprise.
A
Oh,
surprise,
all right.
and
Look at that. Already
Well,
have episode
we-
2 planned.
Episode 2
Yeah.
plan. And they should follow your Instagram live.
yeah,
probably,
Instagram
right?
Live.
Yeah.
We're going to do some Facebook Live as well, and maybe some pictures on Twitter as well. It's going to be fun. We have like 8-9 hours
Yeah.
to
In
ride
front of
today.
us. Yeah. A lot of work there.
Yeah.
And,
So yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
It's going to be fun.
It'd be a good
It's
story
gonna
for
be-
next week,
Yeah,
though.
it's gonna be-
Yeah,
it's gonna be
it's
fun.
going to be a good one for next
Good
week.
one for next week.
Yeah.
All right. That's
Okay.
it.
Hey,
Thank
good
you.
luck in
Thanks
New
for
Hampshire.
Yeah. Huh?
New Hampshire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for wishing me good
Yeah,
luck. 'Cause
no
you won't
problem.
be there, right?
Where you going this time?
If he has bad luck, it's going to be bad luck for you.
Yeah.
It's my fault. Yeah.
It's your
Yeah.
fault.
He's been in vacation like 7 times this year.
He's really stressed.
Yeah.
He's really stressed.
And there it is. You thought you were going to get out of this
I know,
clean,
right?
but
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's done. Yeah.
Okay,
All
my
right.
friends. See you next week.
Thank you.